How the fuck is mine pixelated? I'm literally using an Ethernet cable.
You're in Scotland.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It's not a modern country.
Yeah, I got a bum hole. So what? Yeah, I got a bum hole. That's hot. And welcome to another Three Speech podcast coming to you from parts unknown. I am Mad Lad of Jihad. To my left, as you see it, he is controlled opposition, formerly Mr. Hate Speech. It's none other than Leo KEARSE.
Hello. I'm on the right of Darius in every way.
and politics.
And to my further left, even lefter than me, is none other than the Narilla Mulla. It's Mooch.
Those weren't even consonants that exist.
He's just gonna be a guttural sort of sound eventually. It's just gonna be like it'd be like his mother tongue.
Yeah.
Anyway. The point is, some of you, the more astute of you watching and or listening will have noticed NICO is not here, but he might be joining us later on. He's got some things to deal with, and he's got internet in wherever he's coming from is rubbish, but he's trying his best, so he might come on. But we've got a lot to get through this week. This been a action-packed week. This week, we're going to talk about the following. Jordan Gray getting a dick out. Joe Rogan getting a 1-star review from Chortle, a 2-star review from The Guardian. Rishi Sunak becoming the new Prime Minister and doing this stink face on Liz Truss. Hu Jintao, the former Chinese leader of China.
It's a Chinese takeaway.
How did you get Hu Jintao's name right? And you got like the easiest ones wrong.
I got Joe Rogan right.
Oh yeah, you did get Joe Rogan right.
Yeah.
Well done. I'll probably give you a gold star for that.
Anyway, Hu Jintao, former Chinese leader, has been asked to leave the stage, which he did somewhat unwittingly. Andrew Tate, renowned misogynist, has become a Muslim, so he's doubling down. Globalist is now a new term for is the new anti-Zionist, and we go online and investigate a new left-wing social media platform called Tribal. So all that and more in today's exciting episode of the Three Speech podcast.
That was the intro that we needed. Let's have that every week. I think that was good.
I'm feeling good, man. I mean, I that's all I've got to say about that.
Right.
All right, cool. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Good podcast. So anyway, actually, number one on the list, Jordan Gray.
Edinburgh.
I thought we're saving that for Patreon.
Well, look, we'll talk about it a bit, and then we'll talk about how we really feel on Patreon.
Yeah.
So Jordan Gray, so transgender comedian, but actually a funny transgender comedian, which I don't know. Like the weird thing is, like when it's a male to female transgender comedian, because men are obviously funnier than women, like all the time. Even like the unfunniest man is funnier than the funniest woman, and like then these male to female transgender comedians are always so shit, and I'm like, well, that shows how successfully they've transitioned. You know what I mean? But Jordan Gray is successfully transitioning like most ways. Looks great. Looks like a woman, but is also really funny, and got her dick out on Channel 4. And there was a bit of mild furore. Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Everybody's so. Why is all these bigots angry that like somebody got their dick out on TV? It's like, well, number one, they got their dick out on TV. That's pretty much it. They got their dick out on TV. People are going to be a bit like, wait a minute, somebody got the dick out on TV.
I mean, was it actual full-fledged balls and shit?
Is Darius, are you playing Angry Birds?
No, what are you talking about?
What are you?
I'm listening to you, weirdo.
You're in the podcast. You don't just listen to the podcast. You're in it.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm letting you have your moment to speak. I'm waiting for Mooch to have his moment to speak, and then I'm gonna add my thoughts, and that's how a conversation works.
Is that what they taught you at autism school?
You're more autistic than me.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on my poster.
More autistic than Darius. Anyway, to Mooch, did you not see the Jordan Gray controversy?
I did. I saw bits of it. Wait. I saw it on the Daily Mail, which like just to me is just a Like people just love a moan on that fucking site, so I didn't really give it too much attention. I've got the image here, which I'm gonna publish on screen.
Yeah, put it up
now. Cool. Can you see that?
Is it
no,
censored?
it's off the bottom of the screen. Can you put it over my face?
So
you put it. Yeah,
Leo's
so the penis is right where.
Leo's no longer associated with Jamali Maddox. He's now associated with Jordan Gray's penis.
Like, I tell you what, let's just get the editor to.
No, it's fine the way it is. But yeah. Basically, So she at the end she played a song. I never watched the whole song. It's like watching porn. You just skip straight to the
I watched
reveal.
It.
But yeah, was the song funny?
I've heard only great things about Jordan Gray. I've heard that
me too.
They're great. They're brilliant. And actually, I reached out to Ross McGrain to ask her to come on the podcast. So she wisely chose not to, or ignored that request. That was before.
Edinburgh.
That was before. No. It was after she'd hit the big time in Edinburgh, but before.
Okay. Before she got cancelled by the Daily Mail.
That's what you get on. Well, she hasn't been cancelled. She's been promoted. You know what I mean? But that's what you get on Free Speech Pod. Like we reach out to people after they got big.
Yeah, we were like, maybe we can help you be bigger by you helping us be bigger. The song was funny. There are two things that disgusted me, right? Two things, right? One, it's gone unmentioned in the press and in the Daily Mail and on the left and on the right. The most harrowing thing of all, ginger pubic hair. We're just going to pretend that wasn't there. I saw it. The carpets didn't match the calves or whatever you say. This man, you can't be having tangerine candy floss. I mean, I was sickened at seeing ginger pubes. There should have been a trigger warning. And the only other thing is they played one of the piano keys with their penis. And
why are you saying they? It wasn't an improvisational troupe. There was one of them. She.
You can say they as well.
No, you can't. They is for somebody who's non-binary.
Well, I had to actually.
Could be very offensive.
What are her pronouns?
Well, you just said it. Her.
What are her pronouns?
What are their pronouns?
Her.
Listen, this is why pronouns are so difficult.
It's not that difficult.
Anyway, the point is, Jordan pressed her penis on the piano, right? And there's something just inherently disgusting about seeing a penis squashed when it's flaccid onto something.
Are you going to stop licking pianos now?
Well, what we used to do at school is we used to press our penises onto the television
and then just
button.
slam the shutter down on top of the flaccid cock.
But then it wasn't. At the time, we weren't celebrated for doing that. Apparently, it was unhygienic and disgusting.
Yeah, it's funny. Jordan, when Jerry Sadowitz got his cock out and got cancelled from the Pleasance this summer, like a lot of people were being like, "Oh, this is disgusting. Oh, this is a straight white man getting his cock out on stage. Oh, that's so gross, and like rapey and all the rest of it." And then those same people, like Jordan Gray, gets her cock out. And they're like, "Oh my God, it's so brave and stunning! Oh, we applaud this exposure of genitalia on stage." It's like, what's the difference? So what? Like, if Jerry Sadowitz had said, "I'm a woman," which he's got long hair, he's already he's already transitioned a lot more than some of them.
Jerry Sadowitz looks like Jordan Gray if it all went wrong. Do you know what I mean? In 30 years. Once she's got addicted to some sort of drugs and has been abused and taken advantage of by the industry, that's what is going to basically be turning out, and she will be getting out her cock at the Pleasance in 2043.
Her cock.
But it's outrage over nothing. Like, who cares?
What are you talking about? Got a fucking dick out on TV. What are these bigots out? They're like, fuck me. Oh, I've got to teabag every fucking kid in the country. Like, what are you bigoted against kids getting teabagged? Why are you so pro-pedophile?
I'm not pro-pedophile. I'm just pro-nudity on TV. It's Channel 4. This is the channel that brought us Eurotrash. Yeah,
you can't argue.
That's great TV. Who cares if I don't care if Jordan Gray or some crinkly old German pensioner or Lola Ferrari are getting their bits out on Channel 4. Who cares? It's late night TV. It's not. This is not breakfast TV or anything like that.
Yeah, it was late night, and also yesterday night they showed a show called My Massive Cock, and listen, that took a long time for me to film, and that was on Channel 4 as well.
They did a show called Darius's Massive Cock.
Yeah,
Darius
definitely.
is a massive
Well,
cock.
it's called My Massive Cock. I remained anonymous because, you know, I don't want to show off, or, you know, it's a burden
Very
for
funny.
me.
So
my
why are
massive
you
cock.
talking about it now?
No, but they really, because they're free speech listeners, they need to know. But they did do a show called My Massive Cock, and they show, what's that naked dating show? So
Naked
there's,
and Afraid.
yeah.
No, not Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, that show gets but the thing is, it's like a surprise cock. You know, with naked cock show, you're going to get the naked cock. I think if you're just watching a comedy show, somebody gets their cock out. Even Jerry Sadowitz, you get a warning that he's going to get his cock out.
Fuck.
No,
So,
actually, come on, man.
I just fuck.
Do you not remember the? Do you not remember the word? The word, the TV show,
Yeah,
the word.
you're talking shit,
You
Leo.
get, like,
People were shocked. People were shocked when people got their cocks out. It was like, it wasn't just like, oh yeah, somebody's got their cock out. I just can't believe people are like, oh my god, I can't believe people are outraged that somebody got their cock out on TV. It's a shocking thing to get your cock out on TV. I got my cock out on GB News.
Did you?
But they cut away. They cleverly cut away. I said this week we found out that it's okay to get your cock out on TV if you're trans. And then I said, which reminds me, I'm trans. And then I went,
Did you actually get it out, or was it?
yeah, it went all. Somebody thought it was a cable for one of the cameras, and they plugged it into the wall.
Like
Yeah,
a
but
micro
I heard
USB.
No, a really big cable. Nord Stream.
I heard they cut away because they couldn't get image rights from Jamali. Is that true? They couldn't afford them.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, it was, man. It showed how tribal people are, because like some people were saying, "Oh, this is shocking," and they were the same people. Some of them, like not mostly, but like a couple of them were the same people defending Jerry Sadowitz, and then like other people were like, "Oh, this is so wonderful," and they're the same people who were attacking Jerry Sadowitz for doing the same thing. So yeah, it just showed, man, it's totally everything's tribal now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It was all stupid. I mean, the thing is, there is a bit of hypocrisy with Jerry Sadowitz, but the truth is, no, he didn't get cancelled for getting his dick out.
He did.
No, but he got cancelled for the words he said, which in many ways is worse than getting cancelled for getting your dick out, because they cancelled him for what he said.
Yeah, can you repeat those words?
Yeah, something about.
He said Rishi Sunak is going to be the next PM.
Very well skated around that. Yeah.
It's like performance poetry there.
Yeah.
So I think it was a hullabaloo about nothing, and it's worked much better in Jordan's favor. And
well, obviously that's why they did it. That's why they did it, to get this like furore. It's like when Sophie Duker said, "Oh, it was kill all white people" on Frankie Bosso. She did it to get the furore, get this fake ass fucking. They know people are going to be pissed off. You're calling for genocide against a whole race. Like, people are obviously going to be a bit pissed off about that. You're going to get a few headlines, and then they're going to be like, "Oh my god, look at all these bigots."
No, first of all, I've seen that clip, and it was taken completely out of context.
Mooch loves it. Mooch loves genocide against white people. Everybody constantly being exposed. All nursery, all.
Oh, what's happened there?
Oh, Leo's been muted.
It's been silent. No, like, look, it was a joke. Yeah, I know you can. It was a joke. It was just like, first of all, kill all whitey, which was a fucking joke. It was taken out of context. It was.
No, but
it's exactly the same. It's exactly because it was the tone and that she was said it. Do you know what I mean? First of all, kill all whitey.
On funny tone in a posh voice.
No, but I'll tell you what the actual difference was. This was part of her set. I can tell it was like that was a routine that she's clearly done before, as opposed to someone who's thought, I'm going to do this just for television. And I know
Jordan Gray or what?
Jordan Gray getting a dick out was part of her set. That's part of her. Yeah. So
obviously, yeah. Well, I'm not saying. What do you think? You think I think like when you watch comedy, they're just making it up as they go along?
No, but
I'm a comedian.
But you said kill Whitey, and I think they wrote that specifically for the TV, or they've said that specifically. Yeah, so it's a little bit different. So they knew what they're getting. I think it's a furore about nothing. The invitation for Jordan Gray is still open, and we still welcome you with open arms. Although you will have the biggest penis out of everyone in the studio, but that's fine.
No, I think she's great, and I fully support getting the dick out on stage. I just want that support to be extended to all comedians, including Jerry Stadowitz, Louis C.K., anybody who wants to expose. I mean, Louis C.K. exposed himself. He asked for consent before he did it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, according to Harvey Weinstein's lawyer, who's who's on trial again, and it's been reported in Variety, one of his accusers faked orgasm and was going yes, 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 and he goes. And her lawyer said, "What? Even if she's fit, that's what more enthusiastic consent can he get?" Apparently, sex was used as a bargaining tool in
Currency.
Hollywood as currency, and
Yeah. Who'd have thought? It's almost like they had a fucking word for it. The casting couch. So like the casting has been known for decades. We've had this phrase, the casting couch. Then somebody's like, oh, there's this thing called the casting couch. What? Oh my god, I'm so shocked.
Well, one of his
so woke.
It's a work.
Darius, are you Ollie Crease?
Man, that would be my greatest work. If I had the effort and time and ability to do that, would be my greatest work.
Yeah, can we get the person that does Ollie Crease to actually help us with this podcast?
I've messaged them. I said, let's try and get Ollie Crease to more followers than Leo Kearse. And they've just, I've said, you've got my full support. I've got the mailing list of Vauxhall Comedy Club, anything. I will be out on the streets campaigning for this. And they've just left me. They haven't even read the message.
Wow. Do you want to see something? Do you want to see something?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should reveal
Is
this.
it your cock?
Oh, no. I have been...
Is it your bum hole?
Yeah, I got a bum hole. So what? Yeah, I got a bum hole. That's hot. I have been in communication with Ollie Crease. And I've invited them on to the podcast.
Is this a Fight Club situation? Is this basically you talking into a mirror?
Yeah. Wait, let's see, what does it say? Can you read it?
Can you see it?
No, bring it. Just read it out, because
we can't read it.
I said, "Yo, mysterious Ollie Crease, do you want to come on the pod sometime down the line, zoom in or something, like under witness protection?" And he said, "Sounds fun. Let me know what you're thinking." So actually, it's probably you, Mooch, is that. And I said, you can ring in anonymously, and it was going to be a surprise, but
like Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, like Crime Stoppers. But
it's not going to be a surprise now.
Oh, actually, they've actually said that, especially if it's a surprise for Leo. Sorry, I ruined the surprise.
Well,
Pretend
forget.
you didn't hear. Well, still, forget. Still, come on, Ollie Crease, and explain. Yeah. And then we can just do a whole episode of. Actually, we could do the roast of Leo Kearse.
Yeah.
I just invite all his haters to come on anonymously.
Oh no, we're gonna need to. It's gonna be a long episode. That's gonna be a long episode. I think that'd be hilarious and shows that we're happy to take the piss out of ourselves.
I don't think I'm not happy.
I'm happy to take the piss out of Leo. I'm fine.
Let's take the piss out of Darius.
No, that's not what we're talking about. Listen, if you go on GB News and you're racist, then that's what you get. Yeah, you get me abusing.
I'm not fucking. You're not allowed to be racist. Simon, it's regulated by Ofcom.
Stop. Simon, can you edit in now? Right before when we were recording, where Darius said, "Can I come on GB News and be racist for some money?" Just so it shits on Darius here. Just slice it in now.
And I'm saying I'm back next week. Can I come on GB News? I need money. I'll say some racist stuff.
Clip it up. Clip it up.
Whatever you want me to say. Rishi Sunak's not really British. I've got that one down.
And cut out to us now. Thank you.
But also stop saying GB News is racist.
It's not racist. If anything, I think it needs more Persians on it.
So actually, I've noticed the adverts. There's an advertising boycott against GB News. I think it might be over because the adverts, there's a change in the adverts. They seem more bigger.
Tipex have moved on.
Was it Tipex?
No, it's Capital One credit card. Okay. I can't remember what else.
Will any members of GB News be going to the opening weekend of Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then they're racist.
Oh, wait.
Well, no, because there's a lot of black people who are hired by GB News.
Name one.
Inaya Falarin Iman. Mercy. What's her last name?
Mercy's fit actually. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
and
They all are.
there's another fit one. I've forgotten her name. Woman.
Nana Akoya.
There you go.
Yeah.
Obviously, how could we forget old Nana? What's my name?
What about? Did you see Joe Rogan this week? Mooch?
I did. I went to watch it. Yeah, with my wife. It was great.
What was it? Was it just one night he did?
Just one night. It was the last day of his tour. So
was it?
He just finished his tour. Oh, look, who's here?
It's none other than the
Bayesian sensation.
Born to Fly. The lion is in the house.
Yeah, hello? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
say bird gang.
Bird gang.
Yeah,
Bird
look
gang.
at Nico's house. It's got a Aslan on. Did you paint that, Nico?
Nah.
Oh, that's shit then.
We're just talking about old Joe Rogan. You've missed the chat where we're talking about Jordan and Gray's dick. We'll get your opinion on that in the Patreon. And we're talking about Joe Rogan, who this week got a 1-star review. One star.
But before you go into that, tell us what it was like. Let's not talk. What was he like? Was he good? How long was it? Where was it? It's at O2. Yeah.
It was at the O2, which is not my favorite place for comedy. It's a huge 20,000 person stadium. And the sound is a bit funny if you're in certain places, so you could hear it kind of repeating. Oh,
really? There's like reverb through different speakers and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that or it's because there's such a distance from the stage to the back that it's on a delay. I'm not sure. I could just hear. You got used to it. You get used to it eventually.
You get that at a lot of my gigs. Just to,
Due to the emptiness.
Yeah. Just some old lady at the back repeating what you're saying. It was good. Hans Kim, Korean comic came on. He was doing a lot of one-liner stuff. It was quite good.
Whoa! I keep saying it's good. Like in Chortle, I read it was bad.
Well, wait a minute. Did they have an MC?
No.
So how long did each act do, and was there breaks and stuff?
So there was no breaks. It was Hans Kim maybe did 15 minutes. Then I think Brian Simpson came on. And he did maybe 15, 20 minutes.
And somebody in the review said he didn't say the R slur. And then he sort of said it. He said crazy instead of the R slur. I think we all know what the R slur is.
So I think they kind of
rhymes with
retarded is what he said. Yeah, they came on and they basically it's kind of like it's one of these things where you have to lock up your phones. Yeah, so I think when they had that, they're kind of used to letting it loose a bit. And they said retarded, and they were saying it jokingly. They were never saying it about anyone who is mentally disabled.
Hey, y'all watch the Caine interview with Piers Morgan?
No.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
What made you what when we're talking about retarded, what brought that up into your brain?
Kanye was using it freely, and then he said, I can say retarded because I have mental health issues.
That's like his excuse for wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt.
It's the greatest interview you will ever see. It's completely bonkers, mate. Bonkers.
Was this before or after he went on that podcast and went, Adidas can't do anything to me?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it's hilarious. Hilarious.
We should
continue, Mooch.
So I think it was Brian Simpson who was on next. He had some great bits. It was kind of a slow start. So I read the review and the reviewer said he almost bombed, which I don't think is fair. It's just he's not really like a straight set up punch type of comedian. He finished really, really strong, but that was the whole thing. It was kind of like quite a long story. Yeah, he had this bit which got big laughs about the reasons why, 3 reasons why he would punch a woman, and it was a funny little story. It was
What are they?
I don't want to ruin his bit.
Not
No, we're not
cleaning.
going to go and see him. Also, the
Okay.
tickets were like 100 quid. The cheapest ones were 100 quid. So just tell us, because, like,
Yeah.
man, I'm not.
So,
Well,
I think the
I've
first-
got 3 reasons: not cooking, not cleaning, talking back.
Darius gets his wife to park for him.
No, I say I give her permission to park the car. That's right.
I
And
think it
allow
was.
her to let me drive her car.
I think it was essentially the first one was if they were stomping out his mum, if they were in a fight, they're stomping out his mum. That was one bit. The second one was, I can't remember what the second one was, and then the third one was money for there's a right price, and I will punch a lady in the face for a certain amount. But
How much money?
He didn't specify, but I imagine. Actually, I think he did. It was $50,000. And then Tony Hinchcliffe came on. Tony's a beast. I think he's funny. Yeah, there was Tony Hinchcliffe as well. He came on, said some wild shit. But
in the Chortle review, they said 1 star, and they said they were all bad. Some guy who doesn't have any testosterone went to, what's he called? Tim something.
Tim Harris, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Who actually, I googled him, and he reviews Tim Harding. He reviews cars as well. He's a car reviewer.
Is he, or is that just a different person?
Maybe it's a different person. But yeah, man, the thing with Chortle, the Chortle is run by the ultimate fucking soy boy in the world, Steve Bennett. Man, that guy doesn't have a gram of testosterone in his body. I don't even know if a gram's a lot of testosterone, but he doesn't have any. Like, it's just like no chin, just this like drizzling shit soy fed beard like growing down his neck. Just like, man, when you meet him, like, he used to be a sort of, a reasonably big figure in comedy. He reviews comedy, and people used to, like, all the comedians read his website and stuff. Not anymore because social media. But man, you meet him in real life. It's like the bit where the Wizard of Oz gets revealed, and you see it's just this drizzling shit old man behind the curtain. Like, that's what it was like, except worse. He was somehow worse than that.
The thing that's perplexing to me is, like, this guy obviously went to the show and he wasn't going to enjoy it. Do you know, he wasn't going to enjoy that type of comedy. So why would you send someone who is not really up for that to go and see it? I thought it was, and Joe Rogan was great. He was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. I laughed throughout it. There was substance to his hour, and he gets a lot of shit. And I was kind of like going in there with low expectations. But those expectations were met and surpassed. I thought it was great. I thought he came across as a like he does on his podcast, like a genuinely nice person, says some wild shit here and there. It's jokes. It's kind of like any of us talking around your mates. You say some stuff you don't mean because it's jokes. And
how long did he do?
I can't remember. I think because your phone is locked up. But I imagine it was probably over an hour. I think it was 10:30, 11 when we got out.
Did he have had any kind of narrative, or was it just like joke? Or...
No, there was kind of a bit of narrative, and it was kind of, it was. So he talked about how first of all he talked about how things that he'd said in person or have just been put into quotes, and how that was wrong. And he had this story about how he was portrayed. Joe Rogan, he was portrayed as homophobic because, and there was a news article saying lesbians lack the lower back muscles to properly fuck a woman or something like that. And he said, well, if you say just that, then it is in context. But what I said was, and then he told a story about it, which is basically he was talking shit to a lesbian who was being a dickhead. And it was funny.
But that is wrong, though, because it's not that they lack lower back muscles to properly fuck a woman. It's that they lack a penis to properly fuck a woman.
Yeah.
Also, I've Googled Tim Harding. Turns out he provides strategic real estate advice on business rates to tax owners, occupiers, retailers, developers, and investors. I'm going to tweet him telling him he's a shit. Stop giving shit 1-star reviews.
Mark Silcox put the review system to the test. So he takes the same show up every year. It's called I Can Cure, and Mark Silcox is really funny. If you haven't seen him, he's very sort of drawl, very anti-comedy. I remember when he started the open mic circuit, He's this like little Indian guy, and he comes out and he starts talking about how he's Irish and how women flock to him because he knows how to use Lotus Notes. And they don't know how to work print preview, and like he shows them how to work print preview. And it's really funny, but he does it if you like that kind of thing. But really funny guy. But he takes a show up every year for the Edinburgh Fringe. 2018, Chortle gave it 1 star, and then 2022, the same show, Chortle gave it 4 stars. It's the same fucking show.
That is. I wonder if that could be because he's on TV now.
In the intervening years, he became like he was on TV a lot. He became a bit of a name, sort of like me, not any of you.
So reviews mean nothing. Although I did get a 4-star review from Chortle, so to me, I do value their reviews, and I do think they are the gold standard of reviews.
But that was during the pandemic when everybody went a bit crazy in the pandemic, Darius.
Nah, I get piss off.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, it was the Telegraph gave it 4 stars, and Chortle gave it 1, and the Guardian gave it 2. Now,
yeah,
I think it's just indicative of how certain media outlets are everything's so politicized. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, cool. Yeah. We think this guy's great. 4 stars. Yeah. It's fucking crazy, man. People should just be allowed to go and watch what they want and enjoy it how they want. Send a reviewer who's gonna maybe enjoy that type of content. He did touch on the in the review on Chortle that it was kind of like an echo chamber for that audience. But then again, isn't that what any sort of comedian with a following has? If Josie Long, her audience will have exactly the same sort of opinions and beliefs and like what she's saying, as opposed to whoever Shane Gillis and his audience will have completely polar opposite sort of views on life. And that's the whole joy of comedy. There's so many different sort of comedians and genres and acts that you can go and find something that you like, and you don't have to just. That's
the thing with comedy. Like people go to see stuff that they already agree with. So then you get reviews being like, oh, this show, it had important messages about homophobia or racism or whatever. And it's nobody paid £18 to see that show at the Pleasance and went in being racist and came out non-racist because of the message of that show. Nobody went in homophobic and came out non-homophobic, apart from Darius.
But it changed my life for the better. And my anus for the worst.
I've got a photo of this dude. I found it.
The guy, are you sure it's the same guy, Mark?
Yeah. It's from his. Let's
see.
Let's have a look. That's not the one I've been.
That's not him.
That's not the guy I've been sending abuse to on Twitter.
that's a character in a fucking 2006 space simulation game.
That's him tweeting Rob Orton, who I think is a comic. This guy looks like half the people at the Joe Rogan thing, apart from obviously the glitter on his face. But yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. Why would you send someone who's that opposed to that type of comedy to go see it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, talking about comedians.
Also, he's got 107 followers on Twitter. It's not enough.
Man, I steal more than that in my sleep.
Yeah.
Frank Sananzi, they tried to cancel him. They're so. They're so
R-word. Your camera looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
Looks cool. Yeah,
Mooch has got a high quality setup.
I'm warm in here, man.
Mooch has got a good setup. Mine's going to be good when I get my camera back. That's coming.
So speaking of tribal, there's a new social media.
Yeah.
Tribal. They've already banned libs of TikTok.
How do we get
but
on
not the actual libs of TikTok.
No, they have
people are making fun of.
No,
but the actual people who post the videos in the first place. Libs of TikTok just repost them.
Oh yeah, but now they've started to pass commentary on them saying things like men can't get pregnant, and then that's triggered them.
What? Of course, men can get pregnant. I'm pregnant right now.
Yeah, just with a food baby, not a baby baby.
Is it called tribal? TRIBEL.
TRIBAL, I believe. Here it is. That was quick. Your transphobic posts were quickly suppressed by our system, and then we at Tribal Social Network gave you a swift boot. Take your bigotry back to Trump's Truth Social or Kanye West Parler, Twitter.
Is it a piss take?
No, it's a real thing. It's got all these like. I mean, I've not been on it. We're an innovative Twitter, Facebook alternative that's free of hate, fake news, and bots. Actually, this sounds like something that me and you would fake make. Thank you for creating Tribal. I'm following who's on Tribal Social.
Isn't it funny that it's actually called Tribal?
At least the world's not getting more and more divided at every single turn.
Tell you what, Facebook is dying. So I read a thing about because Mark Zuckerberg has sort of quit running like the actual Facebook, and now he's just focused on this metaverse thing, and so he's plowing in like it's something like $10 billion a month to the metaverse. He's
pledged $186 billion over the next 8 years or something like that.
It's mental, and and it's just tanking because nobody wants to put on a virtual reality headset and go into a shitty 2002 video game version of nobody wants it. Even the people who work on it have said we don't even like using it. So if the people who make it don't like it, man, nobody's going to like it. It's hardly being used by anybody. But he's plowing so much money in, and the Facebook advertising revenue is going down. Oh man! Oh fuck! Yeah. So in my antenatal class, one of the guys, because we still stay in touch, he works in tech. He says when you use your keyboard
class.
Huh?
What's antenatal?
It's like the
baby
pregnancy
thing.
stuff.
It's babies.
Oh.
Yeah. So you meet other parents and stuff. But so he works in tech, and he says, when you use your Google might not be tracking you, but when you use your keyboard on your phone, apps can access what you've typed on the keyboard. The keyboard will send voice notes and whatever you've written on the keyboard to them, so then they know what you're searching for. But it also means that all these apps can see what you've, and there's been credit card number breaches because obviously you use the keyboard to type in your credit card number and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't know about that, and it's very difficult to turn it off.
So how do you turn it off?
You use an iPhone. You use an iPhone.
I googled it, and yeah, because the iPhone. So Apple have turned off their the ability for apps like Facebook to look at what other apps are doing, like the keyboard app and stuff like that, and that's why Facebook's ad revenue is tanking.
It's also
welcome to 2019 Tech News with Leo Kerr.
Why don't you go fuck yourself?
That's not a very nice thing to say. Look how white my teeth look.
Can't see.
Only because you're sitting in a cave.
Hola.
So nobody else wanted the keyboard thing.
Well, we kind of all knew that shit.
So we all knew we were being tracked anyways.
Yeah, this
nobody told me about the keyboard.
Man, you say something out loud like, "Oh, I feel like a kebab." Suddenly you get adverts for kebabs everywhere. Obviously, you're being tracked.
Are you actually getting adverts for kebabs?
Not me.
Adverts to work in the shop.
Yeah,
that's racist, and we will not tolerate that. That casual racism. That's a stereotype that we eat kebabs and work in kebab shops.
Yeah.
We actually
Arab people work in Arab foods shops.
You're fitting into another stereotype that you're in caves.
Yeah.
I'm Persian, not Arab. We don't get on with Arabs.
Yeah. Well, there we go. You're all the same. We're all the same.
No.
What's Mooch? What's Lebanese? Is that
Arab?
Arab.
Yeah.
A camel fucker.
You fuck one camel.
We're goat fuckers.
You're goat.
We eat goat. We eat goat.
Before or after?
After.
Both.
You're not necrophiliac.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer. I watched that Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Oh,
it was great.
It good? Was it?
Oh yeah, man. Honestly, it was great. Really showed the reality of what everyone in the LGBTQ community gets up to.
Well, what happened?
Basically, man, he lures people home and then like kills them and eats them and like wanks with their skulls and stuff. No, it's man. Honestly, it's really good. It's really good.
Do you remember
And
that
it
British?
was, and it's actually really interesting to see. I mean, they might have over-egged it a bit because it's 2022, but the way the police sort of ignored, because its victims were overwhelmingly sort of ethnic minority, and obviously they're mostly gay as well. So the police were like, "Oh man, I don't want to get involved with this." They even like, so one of them, this 14-year-old kid, escaped from him. He'd been drugged, and like they don't have it in the show, but actually Jeffrey Dahmer drilled into his head, poured in hydrochloric acid because he was trying to create a sort of zombie person that he could just keep in his apartment. So this 14-year-old kid with a drill in the head and like blood on his testicles and around his anus escapes like half naked. And people find him and like, oh my god, what's going on? They phone the police. The police get there. And Jeffrey Dahmer turns up and is like, "Oh, this is my boyfriend." And so the police are like, "Oh man, we're not getting involved. Take him away." They let Jeffrey Dahmer take him back in, and Jeffrey
Chinese
Dahmer killed
or
him.
something, was he?
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer killed him. Yeah, Korean, might have been Korean or Vietnamese,
Is
that what's happening with Jordan Gray with her getting her cock out on what's called? Everyone's like, "Oh, I don't want to get involved in this sort of shit. Fuck it." It's just basically today's version of that. People don't give a fuck about it.
No, it's not. It's nothing like that.
Yeah, exactly. Leo, did that zombie stuff in his Did the zombie stuff work? So when he drilled his brain?
One of them woke up because, like, man, the whole time I was watching that show, I just was waiting for it to end so I could go on Wikipedia and find out more. And, like, man, so one of the people, he poured hydrochloric acid in. He uses a drill, drills into the top of the skull, pours hydrochloric acid in. And the guy woke up and was like, "I've got a headache and stuff," but then died.
You know you can't feel it when they do an operation on your brain, which is why they have to keep you awake. I just want to say before we move on, everyone goes on about fucking Jeffrey Dahmer, but what about the original OG, Robert Maudsley, English serial killer, cannibal, lived in Camden, ate people, did the same thing, someone escaped, got him back. He's great. You should Google Robert Maudsley. Great serial killer.
Is it like, because when you watch
and he was 1974 to 78 before Jeffrey Dahmer.
This guy actually is a good guy because he was killing people who were pedophiles and stuff like that. I'm sure this is the same guy. I recognize that face, and he ended up getting kept in a glass box. He was such a danger, but he was just killing people who, frankly, in the eyes of God, weren't that great.
And a few strays.
So he Maudsley garroted John Farrell in Wood Green, London. Farrell picked up Maudsley for sex and showed him pictures of children he had sexually abused. Man, so I'm sleeping better at night knowing that guy's off the streets. I mean, all right, it was 1974.
And he ate him.
But there's another guy, David Cheeseman, who was serving a prison sentence for rape and sexual assault of a 16-year-old girl. And also another child molester. So, they tortured him to death. And then he killed 2 fellow prisoners in Wakefield prison. One killed his wife, and the other one hadn't paid his TV license. So, total monsters.
You don't have to have a TV license if you don't watch live TV.
Also, if you've been garroted in your jail cell, you don't need one.
That someone tried to come to my house and say, "Have you got a TV license?" And I went, "No." Went, "Can we come in?" I went, "No." And he went, "Do you have a TV?" I went, "Maybe." And they went, "Well, if I come in and find a TV, we'll have found you." I went, "Well, it's a good chance you didn't come in then, wasn't it?" Then he was like, "If you watch the BBC, you have to pay for it." I went, "I don't watch the BBC because I pirate everything." So there you go.
You showed him.
Nico, have you got a TV license?
Yeah.
Is that because your wife makes you get one?
Nah, we just like to help out the state.
Yeah, I never got one for like 16 years, and then my wife is all like, wants to do the right thing, and now we've got to get one.
Oh yeah, I've got a TV license as well.
I've got a gate.
What's a gate?
It keeps people away from my house.
A gate? What, do you live in a farm?
No, I just have a gate at the end of my house. So.
Have you got a house, Mooch?
Yeah.
What, a whole house?
Mooch, can you pick your camera up and give us a tour of your house?
Where do you live?
I live in London. I'm not telling anyone more information than that. What are you,
wanna see
TV
what
licensing people?
I want to see your gate.
Mooch, how rich are you, Mooch?
I'm gonna be richer one day. But I've got a gate, and like there's the people can't get in, so they can't get me for the TV license. So
How do
I
we get
definitely
rich,
have.
Mooch?
Huh?
Mooch, how do we get a house? How do we get rich?
Podcasting, definitely.
You have a serious answer.
I mean, this is,
Man,
work-
I saw a
work hard.
podcast. They making £37,000 a month on Patreon. Listen, patrons,
Is that more or less than us?
it is
I have to do the numbers.
£37,000 more than ours.
I gotta go top secret now.
Wait, before you go, Nico, I just want to say what a fantastic contribution you've made to this episode.
Always happy to chime in, man.
Like, I was waiting for that. I said, what? And you've really put us in there and set the world all right. Anyway, I send my regards to Mark and everyone at Top Secret. Any other news before you flee?
Nah, that's just it, man.
All right. Well, next week we're all in the studio, so
Yeah.
and we'll do a gash bomb. So for the listeners,
All right. Cheers, guys.
take it easy, man.
Bird
Bird
gang.
gang.
Born to...
What a
And then there
cunt.
were 3. So Jordan Gray, Joe Rogan, 1-star review. Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak is now Rishiki Sunak. It seems so weird. Last month, Liz Truss met the Queen and became the Prime Minister, and this month Rishi Sunak met the King and became Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So out with the women, in with the lads. Lads.
And in the space of a few weeks, we've had an Asian, a female, and a Turkish prime minister. Isn't that incredible? And like that's the
Turkish.
Tories. The
Oh,
Tories.
Boris.
The Tories are the party of progress,
Yeah.
whereas Labour have got like a guy like the most sort of default setting white guy in the world.
Keir Starmer. What
Because
do
Labour
you think?
voters are racist.
Explain to us, Leo, how Rishi has come about as the new Prime Minister.
Well, they're going to have it.
Didn't he lose like the sort of the vote, and then so he's basically the second place. He's the loser.
No, they didn't. They didn't have a vote because he's the only person that made the criteria. So they couldn't have the normal selection process is 8 weeks, which we saw with Liz Truss, and it doesn't work. Oh, number one, so the Tory party members, there's like 180,000 of them, I think. So they vote. They vote for the leader. It gets whittled down to like however many it is, and then they vote. But their Tory party members are obviously going to be quite strongly ideologically conservative, so they're not going to vote in the most electable person because it's not them. They want who they want. Like whereas if MPs were selecting, they'd be selecting somebody who's going to get them elected and keep their seats. So they got like a really sort of conservative leader, Liz Truss, and I had high hopes. Turns out she was shit. But Rishi got in because they now have a condensed. They can't do the 8 week thing because that'd be ridiculous. They're doing a week thing. People had to get 100 nominations from MPs, and Rishi made it to 100. Penny Mordaunt, I don't think, did, and Boris pulled out. So there's just Rishi on the ballot. So there's just man, how many times have I seen that joke on Twitter or on social media? Every comedian's made that joke. Oh, Boris pulled out. He wouldn't have so many kids. It's like, fuck me, guys. Like, man, why would you go and post that? Like, you open Twitter, everybody's posting that same joke. Why would you add to it? I'm going to post it now.
I've got.
I'm going to post it now.
About Boris pulling out.
Yeah.
He pulled out.
But yeah, so Rishi's a bit more electable than Liz Truss, I guess, in the broader scheme of things. But he's not really an ideologically conservative. He's not going to be able to unite the party. Nobody will. Boris would have been more electable, would have had more chance in a general election, I think. Rishi, it's just going to be more high tax, high spend. I mean, not high tax for his wife, but high tax for everyone else. High spends. You're basically getting new Labour, and he's not going to reach out to all the new seats that the Tories got under Boris.
Is he a globalist?
Yes.
No, because he's Indian. Apparently, globalist means Jewish now. So from what I can see, this is an Indian guy who celebrates Diwali or Indian heritage, not Jewish. So how can he be a globalist? Although he is on the World Economic Forum's Young Leaders Partnership or whatever they do.
But Sainsbury's is Jewish, and they celebrate Diwali in their adverts.
And they sell
but
sausages.
But they're doing that for money. Is Sainsbury Jewish?
I think so, yeah.
No, I think it's Marks and Spencer's.
Oh, right.
But
I'll tell you what, it's not Aldi and Lidl.
Is saying globalist now, is that anti-Semitic? Because that I did not think, like, when the woman brought that up, and so the woman in the LBC interview, some guy was saying, you're a globalist. She went, well, you don't say that ever again. Some of our readers, some of our listeners will be deeply offended by that. Is that what? Globalists? So that's deeply anti-Semitic. Someone was like, that's like saying criminals should all be, they're all criminals. And someone said that's deeply offensive. And then saying that all certain type of people are criminals.
Which type of people?
I've alluded to it, and I'll say no more.
Okay.
Politicians.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. This is how the just words are getting changed. Do you know what I mean? The definition of what words are. Okay, you can't say that because that's now this. You can't say that. Like we were talking about it before. Retard was just a scientific term, and then it got misused, and now you can't say that. And
no, it got used appropriately and correctly in a fun way.
And you know, feminist. Nico posted something up the other day, like the gist of feminism. Okay, cool. We treat everyone of any gender with equal sort of rights and civilities, and that's not what it means now when people use it in the zeitgeist. And you know, it's the same. Globalist. Okay, cool. That's changed. Recession's got changed. You know, it used to be a definition of what recession is, and now
vaccines got changed.
Yeah,
yeah. It used to be something that prevents infection. But now
it's something that gives you a heart attack.
This yeah, should be renamed margarine. But this stuff, like saying globalist is anti-Semitic, is a way of silencing any discussion around globalism. Because
it's essentially saying, it's like Trudeau going, "Oh, they're all racist bigots" to the truckers.
Truckers,
like, hang on. You can't just shut down discourse like that.
The reality is, when you know that's not true, because if what Kanye West had said, he had replaced that with globalist, there'd be no problem. It'd still have a sneaker deal with Adidas, probably have a new one with Nike,
and he'd be able to bank with JP Globalist Morgan.
That's right. So it's like, why are they? I mean, there's clearly some sort of like goal for like push for like the you know, like a one world government, or there's something going on. So
Alexander Pushkin.
Yeah. Exciting times in Moscow.
Well, yeah, and you can see, like, I mean, it's a way of silencing criticism because they've done it as well with them. So there's the Great Replacement theory, which is, you know, people say it's an anti-Semitic, racist conspiracy theory. Some of my favorite conspiracy theories are, but it says that, you know, we're in the West, sort of indigenous populations, which you're not allowed to call, you know, Europeans indigenous, even though we are by any metric. But European populations are being replaced by it through immigration, and we've, you know, indigenous Europeans got very low birth rates, and, you know, the ones that come in from Afghanistan or whatever, very high birth rates. So there is, if you look at the numbers, we are, you know, being kind of replaced. And also, like, you know, people kind of celebrate it as well. They're like, oh, look how diverse everything is and stuff. And it's like, well, you know, so you're saying it's okay to say it's happening if you just say it's a good thing, but you're not allowed to say it's happening if you're worried about it. But what they do is they say, well, some people say this is all a sort of Zionist conspiracy, which is obviously batshit mental. Like, I think a lot of this stuff is sort of batshit mental. But it doesn't mean that the actual, you know, the demographic change is false. It's just a way of, like, you know, minimizing and silencing any discussion around that demographic change.
To work.
Yeah. As two mixed race Arabs here living in UK, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I got bored halfway through that, man.
Have you?
The point.
Listen, like this podcast is
globalism-
is getting replaced.
Yeah.
Like you're the only honky on this.
I don't think
Yeah,
it
you are
needs
the
to
only
be
honky
replaced.
on this. Yeah, we're replacing you slowly but surely. You're the only honky on this.
How are you going to replace me with Ollie Crease?
Ollie, sit back. And then we'll be welcomed into the loving embrace of Tim Harding as he gives our podcast a 5-star review as we discuss such funny topics as mental health issues and other stuff.
Man,
Anyway.
everybody wears that stuff. I noticed Frank Sananzi. So people we'll talk about this in the Patreon only one, but
yeah.
people tried to ban Frank Sananzi from the Galway
Oh,
Comedy
ridiculous.
Festival. Oh, man. And I looked at the profiles. Every single person trying to get banned was all like queer, mental health problems, ADHD, autism, pronouns, they, them, all this shit, blue hair, fucking, all this stuff like queer doesn't mean anything. Like neurodivergent doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Everyone is neurodivergent these days.
Yeah.
Like, all of us are.
Yeah,
Also, if you
totally.
have mental health issues, why are people listening to you?
Yeah, you should
like,
be locked
listen-
up in an institution, in a cage.
Listen to people who are like sane, sensible.
Yeah. Who, when they go to the
Good.
hairdresser, they actually go to the hairdresser instead of just sticking their head in a fucking tub of blue dye.
Short back in size, please.
Yeah, no blueness on it.
No blueness. Listen, we've got Hugh. Did we mention Hu Jintao and Andrew
No.
Tate?
Well, we've done like an hour, so like I kind of need to go. So can we talk about Hugh Jintao, Andrew Tate, and the Frank Sananzi thing on the Patreon only one?
Let's discuss that on the Patreon only one. So if
Um,
you've not subscribed, you're gonna miss out on some exciting, possibly Asian racism, Muslim Islam, Andrew Tate. It's gonna all pop off on the Patreon only episode.
Yes. So if you have £3, £5, whatever it is a month, you can get all of that, and that's
£1.
basically it.
And
No, we're not.
gash bombs. I've come into another supply of gash bombs. We'll be sending them out.
Hopefully we don't do them all.
£35.
Like and subscribe. Please share. Get this to #1 on the stand-up podcast charts. The highest
not
we've
for
ever been
Christmas.
is #3, and we're getting beaten by an American one that Bad Friends or something is always #1. And actually, who are they? Is that
It's that's Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino.
Well, these guys are fucking coming over here with their displacement theory and displacing us from the top of the charts. They need to piss off back to the American podcast charts. Anyway, like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.